how good is an eggplant parmigiana? And a good one really doesn't have too many ingredients, apart from, of course, the obvious eggplant, some good quality passata, and lots of cheese. Now, my least favourite part of cooking an eggplant parmigiana is frying off the eggplant because it takes so long. But I'm going to cook this on my induction cooktop that has a flexi zone. Essentially, it pairs to make one large rectangular cooktop, so we get a lovely even heat in a large pan just like this one. So I'm going to turn this on to a medium heat. We'll just pair them up, add some oil, so extra virgin olive oil, into the pan. You can be quite generous with it when you're cooking eggplants because they're like sponges. For the eggplants, we'll take the tops off. And I like to use a serrated knife when I'm slicing my eggplant. You can see that it's got that really leathery skin and it's quite slippery. So with the serrated knife, we've got a bit more of a grip. I like to cut these quite thin, so not too thick. We're going to do this in batches, so we'll start the frying process. We'll just line up the eggplant. See, we've got a little sizzle there, that's what we're after. We're going to get a beautiful even colour on these eggplants. Now, while the eggplant is cooking, we can get onto the simple passata sauce. So we're just going to heat up a medium saucepan. To that, another glug of olive oil, 2 cloves of garlic, and I'm just going to bruise the garlic. I'm not going to chop it whatsoever, just a bruise. It's going to flavour the oil, and in it goes. And once that starts to sizzle and you can start to smell that garlic, we can add some herbs in, just some parsley, stalks and all, and 1 branch of basil, and the passata, which is just tomato puree. So we're going to add about 500 grams of that. This needs some seasoning, so a really good pinch of salt. Lid can go on, and then this is going to cook for about 15 minutes until it thickens. In the meantime, I'm going to continue cooking the eggplant. All right, all our components are ready to go, and the eggplant took half the time because we were able to cook that in that large rectangular pan on the flexi zone. So before I add the eggplant to my baking dish, I like to add some of the tomato sauce. So a few spoonfuls go in, 2 to 3, and then this is going to be our base. So spread that around carefully. We're going to layer our eggplant just overlapping slightly. And it's like we're going to be making a cake here, so pressing down on each layer so it gets quite compact. The next layer is the tomato sauce, so less this time. We just want to gently spread it over the eggplant. Some pecorino, you could also use Parmesan. Grate that over the top. Some fresh ricotta, and grab a spoon, and we're just going to dollop that over the top, just breaking it up. Okay, to make it extra cheesy, some mozzarella. I've got some buffalo mozzarella, and we'll take it out of the water. Look at this. This is just heaven. Fresh, creamy cheese. And we don't need too much of this because we want 1 ball for all the Parmigiana. So just small speckles of that mozzarella. Okay, now to ensure that this really binds together, my little trick is just adding some breadcrumbs. Not too much, just a sprinkle of fresh breadcrumbs over the top, and that's going to absorb any moisture as it starts to cook. And then we continue the layers. So more eggplant, tomato sauce, and cheese until we fill up this whole baking dish. Then it goes into the oven. I'm going to cook it for about 30 to 40 minutes at 180 degrees. And there she is in all her glory. It smells so good. I'm going to cut a nice, generous wedge. And because it is so rich, you really need very little with it. just a simple rocket salad. Oh, look at that oozy, cheesy goodness. Straight onto the plate. And some peppery rocket leaves on the side. Dress it maybe with some lemon juice. But that right there is just a delicious dinner. And if you're a little bit obsessed by eggplant parmigiana like I am, what you should do the next day is get yourself a crusty ciabatta bread roll, add that to it with some rocket. It is the best sandwich ever. Give it a crack.